So all this white stuff has descended on us overnight. Not something I'm used to seeing down here in southern Russia, I'll be honest. But yeah, thought I'd go for a drive. Have a look at the village in snow. So if you're just joining me, first live, this is southern Russia, about 60 miles away from Crimea, on the coast of the Black Sea. I'm just inland at a village called Gostogoevskaya. And yeah, like I say, this is unusual weather for this region. Get a bit of snow every now and again, but last year we had like a sprinkling for a couple of days and that was it, but nothing like this. But this is apparently set to continue all day, so yeah, main road perfectly drivable, but I think what I've seen has been a lot of mishaps, so I thought we'd go out and see what it's like around the back roads, see if we can get this thing stuck. Be interesting, won't it? I mean, to be honest, I'm a big kid and I wanted to go and play in the snow. But I also wanted to see what this thing's like in the snow as well. I wasn't entirely sure I'd get out to drive, but as always, and this has proven to be the case with this car, I'm surprised. It seems to cope with it well. I can't honestly say I've noticed that I'm driving in the snow. So it accelerates perfectly fine, it brakes, it steers. So yeah, as regards giving a thumbs up for the Haval, it is definitely a thumbs up. I think it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So, been trying to do some lives lately, and unfortunately, every time I start talking politics, or more specifically Western politics and current position, YouTube, I've got to say it, YouTube, cuts the connection. I lose connection, and I have to say that is the reason, because it's too much of a coincidence. It's every single time that I start to do a live and I start talking about certain things, yeah, I get a bad signal, I get a bad connection, and it freezes. So what are we waiting for here? Now we're waiting for the gritter lorry. There you go. Don't really want to be behind a gritter lorry, but yeah, snowplow attachment probably, and that's certainly something I've noticed here. As soon as there's a bit of snow, out comes the snowplows, out come the gritters. You can see he's got a snowplow on it. Certainly a long way removed from what I was used to in the UK. Oh, that's what you want. 6-wheel drive army vehicle. So it's times like this when people like me drive around with smug faces. That's actually where I wanted to go, so I'm going to have to take the next turning. But yesterday I went about 16 kilometres along the coast and looked at a natural phenomenon. I've posted up a little video in my Telegram. I'll put another one up today, where the sea is frozen and the, I suppose you call them ice plates, I don't know, they're pushing up onto the land, and then they're riding up over each other and just making these beautiful like ice piles, mountains, but the ice blocks are about 5 inches thick, and it just looks amazing. I've never seen anything like that. So it's a first for me. So yeah, drove along there to have a look at that. Like I say, I've put the video in my Telegram if anyone's interested. Oh, it's amazing how disorientating it is. And what you do have to be careful of in Russia is the side of the road is huge drainage ditches, and you don't really know which one is where. And by that I mean some of them are okay to drive on, and some of them are just like a 3-foot drop, which is all well and good when you can see them. But when you can't, when it's snowed in, you could end up in a whole heap of trouble. Come on, dog, get out of the way. Ooh, dog. Well, definitely never seen our village like this. What's down this way? Yeah. Better turn around here. Roman, do you have snow tyres or just regular tyres? I've got winter tyres, but not snow tyres. So, like I say, I think I was expecting this to not actually get off the drive, because I'm sure, as you know, winter tyres are okay in a bit of sleet and rain, but they're not really designed for snow, hence the reason you have snow tyres. Let's go down here and see what happens. But I've got to say, it's doing remarkably well. Far, far better than I was expecting. And that's been the theme with this car, I've got to say. It is just a constant surprise at just how well the four-wheel drive system works. But it is a proper four-wheel drive system in this, not like the SUVs and what I call the soft roaders. The car we had before was another Haval, but it was the F7X, and although it had a four-wheel drive, it was not a low range gearbox lockable diffs four-wheel drive. It's the soft option, which is okay, but not great for conditions like this. But this, well, it's handling it in its stride. And if you look to my right now, you can probably see those ditches. Don't want to end up in one of those. But we do want to go out exploring and have a little look around, don't we? So, where are you looking in from, people? Where's home? As I say, this is southern Russia with inclement weather. Decisions. Might have to start taking bets. Will I get stuck? That's the question. Now, the ultimate vehicle in this sort of weather is the mighty Lada Niva. And no, I'm not joking. Those things are incredible. Absolutely amazing. And we've got a few really trick ones in our village with winches, front and rear, and full lift kits, and really good off-road wheels and snow tyres on them. And they will be loving this. But this is definitely a rural village. Looks like Maine, USA. Okay. Zdarova. Medi, nah, keep forward motion going, you'll be fine. To be honest, mate, I can stop. I mean, I've got to say it's driving a bit different. Clearly, I'm driving on snow, but honestly, it just, I put my foot down and it just accelerates. It doesn't slip. It's not, I brake and it slows down. It's really surprising me, considering, like I say, I haven't got snow tyres on it. It's just winter tyres. It's remarkable. Very confidence inspiring, which is exactly the point that it will go wrong. Closely followed by the immortal words of Jeremy Clarkson, watch this. But our village is really pretty in the snow. And I get the comments sometimes from the negative people that can't see beyond the end of their nose. Oh, look at the state of the place. Well, it's rural Russia and it's very eclectic, and you have literally 100-year-old tiny little houses that are in a huge state of disrepair, derelict buildings, and then you get brand new buildings next to it. Case in point, look at these, brand new. And there's a lot of building work in our village. There's houses being built everywhere. It's a very popular village. A lot of people want a second home, or actually want to come and retire to the south for the sun. Can't see the sun at the moment, of course, but so it's a very popular destination, is Anapa. If you want to know where we are, ANAPA. It's on the coast of the Black Sea. Have a look in Google Maps. And let's get up here. So yeah, very popular destination, but the prices, as is true of all seaside resorts, are significantly higher. So a lot of people are looking for alternatives, and certainly our village is an alternative because we're about 15 minutes outside of an Napa, so we don't have the hustle and bustle of a resort town in the summer, and a Napa, unless you're on foot, a Napa in the summer is, should we be polite and say challenging? Let's do that. Let's do the corporate thing. It's challenging. Yeah, no, it's hell on earth to be honest. In summer season, it's full of bloody foreigners. That's the problem. Um, but no, in the middle of summer, a Napa is really hard going with traffic. It's a really popular destination, especially for people from Moscow. There's a lot of people with second homes. And I think a lot of people are looking for alternatives, and being 15 minutes outside the first village outside of a Napa, like I say, you haven't got the hustle and bustle of the resort town in the middle of summer, but it's just down the road if you want to go and visit it. And here, prices are nearly half for being 15 minutes away, so you get a lot more bang for your buck. If we picked our house up and moved it into the middle of the town, it would be, yeah, probably 35 million, I would say. Rubles, that is. Wish it was pounds, that'd be nice. Which is about £300,000, maybe a little bit more, 320. But out here, you're looking at about 22 million rubles. And the other thing is, you get a lot more space in the town. Most houses that we see advertised for sort of 25, 30 million have got half the size of the land that we have out here. And Russians do like to have their land, so they like to grow things. Right, let's take this left turn now. Done a little loop round. Just looks so different in the snow. It's awesome, love it. So let's get political. See how long it is before we lose connection. Should we try it? Trump and his rare earth minerals. What about that? So, let's just stop here for a sec. See if I need to catch up with any chat. Schweppes. This is Gostogoyevskaya, just outside Anapa. Medi, nice. Hit the emergency brake. 7 a.m. where you are, in Ned's 97. You're wondering where I'm from. Yes. Time here is 11 o'clock in the morning, local time, Moscow time. We're on Moscow time. For those of you that don't know, it is relevant because there are 11 time zones in Russia. It's a big place. Yeah, so a lot of people are going on about Trump and his rare earth minerals and getting excited about the value of them and how they're going to get them and all the rest of it. And I think they're missing the point. As always with Trump, you've got to look at what he does, not what he says. And yeah, he's getting people to focus in one direction while he's doing something in a different direction. And trying to sign an agreement with Ukraine regarding rare earth minerals has no purpose other than securing a position for the US in the Ukraine. That's what it's all about. That's why he's desperately trying to get it done before any negotiations or talks with Russia. So it's just literally firing out there, and it's not about trying to recoup money. You know, I think he's now come out and admitted that he doesn't even know if there is any and whether it's worth having. But it is about having an agreement to go to the negotiations with and say, hey, look, we've got this agreement, and you know, we want to get our money back, and that's what it's about. It's about remaining relevant in Ukraine. So yeah, don't get too hung up on the mining of the minerals, because the reality is, yeah, you've got to remember who's invested in there. The big companies like BlackRock, they're the ones that need to be appeased. They're the ones that have been tricked into sinking a load of money in, and they want their return. Look at this down here. Whew, she's getting deep. Yeah, they're the ones that want to see some kind of return. They want to see a return on investment, ROI. Good morning, Chris. Got in early today. Irvin, hi. Yeah, I try and live stream at different times of the day, as often as possible, just to hit different parts of the world. Not for numbers, but just to give people a chance to see rural Russia and ask a question right here, right now, of a guy that happens to be driving around. As most of you know, I'm an English guy. Moved here with my wife and our daughter from the UK. We were actually going to buy one of these houses in here when we were first looking. Well, a plot of land and then build the house, but we ended up where we are. Glad we did. But we were looking in there. But yeah, as I say, Englishman living in southern Russia. I don't speak Russian. I'm learning very slowly because I'm thick with a capital F. But if you are interested in learning Russian, have a look at my channel. Have a look at the homepage on YouTube, or join my Telegram group, and you'll see there's a lovely lady called Oksana who's a qualified English teacher and a qualified Russian teacher and a former translator, and she has a fantastic online platform, so wherever you are in the world, you can have Russian lessons or English lessons if you're a Russian. And yeah, she's amazing, so patient. How she hasn't virtually strangled me, I don't know. It's lucky we're friends. But yeah, patience of a saint, without a doubt. And like I say, an incredible platform. There's no software to download or anything. It's just a web link, so you can join a lesson literally anywhere as long as you've got internet coverage. Yeah, so on your mobile phone or a tablet or desktop, doesn't matter. So great platform, very interactive because it's obviously face to face live. She sets you tasks, you get homework, and I hope to be at some point doing a live video whilst I have a lesson, so you guys can get to see exactly what it's like. She's in high demand, so if you are interested, we have a little Telegram group as well, where us students sort of gather and we can practice, talk about various things, but it's all sort of language related and Russia related, and the difference is between Russia and the UK or the US, depending on where you're from. So yeah, it's a great little group, and I thoroughly recommend not only the group but Oksana and her teaching. She is exceptionally good. So normally I say, is this what you expect of Russia? Because normally it's blue skies and sunshine, and I'm standing by my swimming pool. Can't really say that at the moment. Another snowplow. See, this is the difference between the UK and here. Snowplows come out straight away, and not just one driving about once. There'll be half a dozen in our village alone. And that's why the country keeps moving. Let's go this way. Let's go down the end and see what's going on. I have to sneak in the political chat every now and again. If I try and do too much of it, I think the algorithm jumps on me. I did start live streaming last night to have a good conversation, and just as we got into it, as usual, signal gone. That was snow shovels. Somebody sent me an advert for a Lada Niva with a snowplow on the front of it, and yeah, that's that's so Russian. As you can see, the main routes they've already gone round with the plough and the gritter lorry, and everything's moving around quite well. Schools will probably be closed today, I'm guessing. I haven't seen anybody in a ditch or anything crashed yet, so it's quite good. Because we have a WhatsApp group, development, to have a WhatsApp chat to talk about various things, especially on new developments. If you're waiting for your gas connection, for example, or something, I usually have some sort of chat. There's all sorts of things in there, but in the chat this morning it was do not go out, very dangerous, ice everywhere, lots of crashes, so I nearly didn't come out. But I don't want to speak too soon, but I haven't seen any issues, I haven't seen any problems. I am loving this car, I must admit. Chinese have come a very, very, very long way with their cars, a long way. And I was a absolute German manufacturer maxi. Years of brainwashing to believe that, you know, if it wasn't German effectively, then it wasn't any good. And the same with Range Rovers, I had those as well, and same thing. Oh, they're, you know, oh, you shouldn't bother with those, they're terrible. Where are you going? I haven't found that to be the case with the Range Rover for sure. It depends on the model. You buy the wrong one and it's going to look like a Christmas tree on the dashboard. But the ones I had never let me down. Fantastic. Couldn't speak highly enough of them. And I really wanted another one, but can't justify the cost. And so then I thought I'd get a Land Cruiser, and again, they're 4 times the price of this. Which there ain't 4 times the difference. There really isn't. This thing is absolutely amazing. It's got every single thing. I must do a review on this car because I get lots of messages saying, "Oh, can you do a review?" asking about this Haval H9. We've only had it about 6 weeks, but it is absolutely awesome. And for me, I cannot see why I would need to have a Land Cruiser instead of this. 7 seats, and does everything that I've asked of it and more, as I'm now finding out. Brilliant thing, love it. So, as I say, rural location. So, as always with my videos, you get to see the good, the bad and the ugly. Some people just try and show Russia in a bad light, and others just only want to show you the good stuff. I don't want to do either. I just want to show you the real stuff, and it's up to you what you think. But I'll just reverse back a bit. I can show you what I mean. Just in this very short space. Take the phone out. So we've got a brand new build going on here next to very old, I'm not going to use the Soviet era rubbish, but a very old house next to a very new one, very modern, nice balcony, chalet style, really nice. And this is completely normal. You'll have houses that look like they're falling down next to new builds, next to very old houses that are still being lived in, and certainly Soviet era stuff. They really like their bright colours, so you see a lot of this, bright turquoises, bright greens, blues. It's really cool. I love it, absolutely love it. But it's not for everybody, I get that. That's a bit jumpy. I'll put you back in the holder in a minute, but just wanted to show you the differences in properties. These are all brand new over here. I'll get you back in the holder now, so I'm not rattling your brains out, hopefully. And this is the evolution of a village, I would suggest. As the old houses fall into disrepair, they get bought up, the land gets bought up, and a new house pops up in its place. And that's what's happening in our village. And there was a bit of expansion, but the local administration have stopped that now. So there is no more expansion of the size of the village. So it won't be getting any bigger. We are right on the edge of the village now, so hopefully the signal will stay. Up ahead is the vineyards, and I better not come up there because I won't be able to turn round. Sorry, just being a bit cheeky turning around on your driveway. So yeah, because that has happened, the prices of land in this village in the last 3 years have tripled. So where we were looking at about 250,000 rubles per 100 square meters, it's now around 750,000. You can get a bit cheaper, but it will be, you know, much lower spec land, and you can get different grades of land. Don't be dumb, dog. It's about 2.5 tonnes, this is. So yeah, price of land significantly increased. And also, the other thing that has caused the increase is a recent decree within the last few months stating that the minimum plot size of land is now 600 square meters from 500 square meters. So unless that land was already purchased or was on cadastre at 500 square meters, it now has to be 600 square meters. So of course that has increased the value of land and made it a bit more scarce, because all of these small plots, you know, if you've got two 450 square meter plots, you've now got to push them together. A lot of snow around here. Very easy to get lost when it all looks the same. And I'm not saying I'm lost. That would be an admission that, as any Englishman will tell you, it's not something we do. We don't admit that we get lost. We just drive around aimlessly pretending that we're not lost, while the wife looks at the map telling us that we're an idiot going the wrong way. The wife's not with me, so she can't do that. But I'm not lost. I know exactly where I am. Ish. We will be heading to the other side of the village. Difficult to see where the road is. Not there where I just went, that's for sure. Aha. Oh, God, is that where I was? Thanks, but no thanks. Interesting name. Morning. Good morning. Where is this? Looks very cold. So you'd rather get lost than ask. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Of course. Are you planning to live there? I am living here, my friend. So this is southern Russia. This is in the region of Krasnodarsky Krai, just outside a seaside resort town called Anapa. ANAPA. If you stick that in the Google Maps, see where we are. And yes, I do live here. Englishman, moved here with my wife and our daughter. No, I don't speak Russian. And yes, I absolutely love this country, love the people. I love the attitude. I love it, yeah. Even what some people would call a negative, I find appealing. I love being able to go out for a walk and just see something different. Look at this. This is a certain old. Look at that mosaic stuff. Now, some people are just going to go, "Oh, it looks bloody terrible," and blah blah blah. But you know, hey, have some imagination. If you're happy just living in Legoland, where every house looks the same, then yeah, you probably will look like that. Look at it like that. But I've lived in Legoland all my life in the UK, where it's just row upon row of exactly the same house, and I think that's part of the charm for me of living here, because no two houses are the same. And you've got these beautiful old. I'm going to have to show you some of this stuff because the camera's just facing forward. You're not going to miss it. But you've got this beautiful old Soviet era stuff next to brand new ones. And obviously the town will evolve over the coming decades as the older stuff just is no longer viable, and it will get replaced with stuff like this. But right now I think it's looking, for me, it's best. You've got this beautiful, look at the fence. I mean, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. You've got these beautiful old style houses in amongst some literal derelict places, and then some brand new ones, and you can see the evolution of the village, and I love it. I think it's absolutely amazing. I don't know, am I sad? Maybe, but I'm not sad in my life. Loving my life. Carports are a big thing here. Garages not so much. This is a lovely property. Gorgeous. Look at the colours. Look at the variety of properties as well. Look at that green one up there. Look at that. We've got to tiny little house like that that's probably 35, 40 square meters in size, and a brand new modern version next door. It just looks so different when it's all covered in snow. Lovely. Need a sledge and some rope and a willing victim I can drag around behind the car. In the UK, I'll probably get locked up for child abuse. Out here, police would probably just laugh at you. Try not to kill her. Much more of a common sense attitude out here. None of this nanny state stuff, if you know what I mean. My son is a miner and works with Russians. Awesome. Are those roads paved? No. So currently the roads I'm on are what we call unmade, or what I would call type 1. So they've got like I'm not a road builder, so I don't really know, but in the UK we call it type 1. So it's small, certain type of rock that they put down as the base for a road before they tarmac it. So most of the side roads are like that. They're unmade roads. So underneath all this snow, they're just unmade roads. Completely normal. The roads may get tarmacked eventually. Look at this. They may get tarmacked eventually. I thought somebody dropped their coat down and I realised it's a dog having a sleep in the middle of the road. And he is asleep, he's just lifted his head. Not the best place to stop, doggy. I'm sure you could find something a little bit more secure. But yeah, the main arteries and the main roads through the villages are tarmacked. As soon as you get off of that, you get around the side streets, they're unmade roads. New developments, like where we live, it's all tarmacked, but it depends on the developer, and it depends on the price of the land, because you can buy land on a new development that's not going to get tarmacked, and there are different costs involved, whether it's got gas, for example, mains gas, or whether you have to use gas bottles or other such means. But as you can see here with the yellow pipes, these have all got mains gas, and yes, the gas pipes run above ground. It's only on new developments now that they go underground. Some people find it ugly. I did when I first came here. Couldn't really understand it, but when you think about it logically, it's a lot easier to work on. And a lot less likely to break when the ground freezes. Thanks, but no thanks. Hi, speaks fluent Russian now. No option because he said they insisted he speak the language. Absolutely, Russia is Russia, and if you come here, you need to speak the language. Obviously, there's provision for you to learn. You know, I don't speak Russian. I've got very, very small vocabulary, but as I said, I am learning. Russia is beautiful. You are blessed. I am. Thank you. I agree with that. It's such a vast country. It really is. Really is. It's so difficult to comprehend the size of this place until you come here, and then even then, you know, it probably won't make a lot of sense, to be honest. You know, since we've been here, we haven't left our region. That was for sale. Oh, look at this one. Oh, look in there, look. So this is right on the edge of the village. Underground garage, that one. Nice colours again. Looks good in the snow. Really stands out. Got a brand new build there. That one's for sale, I think. You could get a team of huskies to pull your sled. Well, I don't need to because I'm sitting in comfort at the moment with heated steering wheel, heated seats. So I did actually do dog sledding. I went to Canada, and it was, I've got to say, a brilliant experience. Really cool. Good setup they had there in Whistler. Sledding in the winter, and then they put wheels on the sleds in the summer and carry on. So an all year round business, dog sledding, which is not something you'd probably expect. But as I said, this is the edge of the village, and you can see they're building right on the edges. So building plots are getting more and more scarce. And it's very common for the houses to be built out of the ground here. So your foundation it's very normal for new houses to be 2.5 feet above ground level. So they put a big concrete slab down and raise the house out of the ground. Very well insulated. And certainly our house, we've got radiators in our bedroom, we've never had them on. We've got underfloor heating downstairs, and that heats the whole house very comfortably, very comfortably. So the radiators, in the bedrooms never need to be on. Definitely am right on the edge of the village now, so I'm not sure about signal. What the fuel price is? Fuel prices here are about 61 rubles for a litre, roughly. So about just over 60 cents a litre if the US, about 55 pence a litre, something like that, 54. Gone up a little bit in the last 3 years, but very small amount. It's a local timber yard. You can get all your wood and your building materials, blocks, etc., etc. Just stop here and answer your questions. It's only 20. Well, okay. Well, that's the joy of the young. They can learn a language really, really easily. Looks like a nice village. Yep. You're in Ireland. Okay. What temperature is it now? It's -3 here. 55p a litre. Gosh, that's cheap. It's 178 for diesel. Yeah. Yeah, 55p a litre. It's about a third. So most of the vehicles are stonking great V8s. You see a lot of AMG Mercs, a lot of M-Power BMWs, V8 Land Cruisers, the 4.6s and all of that, 4.8s, very common. which is great because, you know, none of this namby-pamby, or you can only have a 1 litre car with enough power to maybe pull a gnat off of a rice pudding. No, you know, it's called choice and freedom. So you can drive what you like. I haven't subscribed here in Russia to the whole global warming scenario. Doesn't mean you can't get electric cars here. There are plenty. There are loads of electric cars here. Loads. There are charging points. I haven't seen a charging point in our village, he says cautiously. But certainly in the town, in the Napa, there are. I really want to go down there. Thought about it too late. Let's, I want to try and show you the variations in the housing, and just show you what I'm talking about. No two houses are the same. Every single property is different. Even if you go to a development like ours, where it's built by one developer and you have like a catalogue, so you buy your land, and the developer sells you a plot of land on the main plot. They're all numbered, they're all staked out, and you buy your land, but it is part of the agreement that you are going to build a house on the land, and the developer is going to build the house. So you can't just buy the land and then sit on it. You can take your time to build, but ultimately you have to use that developer to build the house. That's part of the agreement. But you get a catalogue of what they call standard properties. So you'll get single story, what we call bungalows in the UK. And 2-story houses, and you'll have 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom, and you pick what you want. So even on a development where you have stuff like that, I do love this. It's a shame it's only going to be 2 small houses in there. It would be nice if that was going to be one big property in there, the pillars and everything. Again, typical Russia. Can't have the same. It's got to be different. Dogs, what are you doing? Out in the snow. Should we go this way? The dogs are smart. They use pedestrian crossings out here. You know I'm not joking. They will literally stop at the pedestrian crossing and wait for the traffic. So yeah, as I was saying, with the housing, you'll pick your house from a catalogue, and then you can change it any which way you want. You can add to it, you can make it bigger, you can add garage, terrace, which is exactly what we've done with our house. You can just change it around. Definitely an unknown territory now. I'm really not sure, A, if I've got signal, or B, if this is actually a through road. We'll find out, won't we? We'll have to reverse half a mile. First things first, have I got signal out here? Yes, okay. Rice pudding here. Can you have the house to your requirements? Yes, you can. So you start with a standard house, what they call a standard house, because they have to show you something to give a cost. But you can modify that in any which way. And if you look on my channel, oh, this is interesting. I've definitely never been around here. If you look on my channel, our house is actually for sale, and everything is different. We've changed everything. There is one room in our house that is the same as it was originally designed. All the others we've changed. It was a 4-bedroom house to start with. It's now a 3-bedroom house. We've added terraces, a garage. Yeah, like I say, changed the layout of the house completely. Removed walls. Yeah, and the other thing that I like here is that you can buy a house in what we call the grey. So it literally can be just a shell. So it can be cosmetically finished from the outside, but inside can just be concrete blocks. No electrics, no doors, no floor, no radiators, no plumbing, nothing. Now that might sound scary to a lot of people, but it really does give you flexibility, and it also gives you the opportunity to be able to buy the property and then do it over time. Yes, obviously, if you wanted to move into it straight away, you'd have to put some basic necessities in, but you could be as basic as you wanted to be, or as basic as your budget would allow you, which you don't have that option in the UK really, unless you buy a piece of land yourself. But if you're buying from a developer, the house will be finished. You know, if you're buying it brand new, you get a choice of kitchen, etc., but it's all from the developer. Whereas out here, shush dog, you know, you can buy it in the grey and then finish the interior yourself, or get anybody you like to finish it. You can pick any kitchens to apply. The choice is endless, and it's just, for me, a much better way of doing it. And like I say, it means you can buy quite a decent property and do it up over time as money permits you. Come on, dog, move the body. There we go. There's a better angle of that house. So yeah, hopefully this gives you an idea that it's just so different out here. Everything's different, you know. Like I say, you go out for a walk, there's always something new to see. And I've driven around my village now, I don't know how many times, loads of times, done lots of live streaming. And every time I go out, I find something new. Every time. There's always something new to look at. There's always a road that I haven't seen, or I don't know, or a Harley Davidson van. There we go. Land Rover, Jeep, Cadillac. That's nice. You see what I mean by being built out of the ground as well. I need to put sunglasses on soon. I'll get snow blindness. Oh, left, right, or straight on? $64 million question. Let's do straight on, shall we? I want to go up where that lorry's coming, but let's pull out of the way first. Let him come down. Give me a chance to catch up. I've just subscribed. Very interested to know about your experience in Russia. Thank you. Are you close to doctor's surgery, and can you see a doctor when needed? Difficult here, 3 weeks on. Yes, it's a simple answer. Typical. That lorry wants to come around here. That was me thinking I was being clever. Getting out of his way. So yes, doctors anytime. I can ring up now and see a doctor this afternoon. I came to Russia needing surgery from the UK. I was actually scheduled for surgery. The question, what I was waiting for, which took 10 months for them to decide, was whether I needed 2 surgeries or 1 on my neck. Following a previous surgery I had in 2012 on my neck. Came to Russia, went and saw a doctor, local doctor, and he was absolutely horrified. Again, I think I've told this story on my channel in a video, but completely horrified. Just sort of said, why aren't you being treated? And I said, well, I am, the surgery. And he just horrified, literally couldn't believe it. He said, well, I don't see this here. People don't have this problem here because we treat it. Why haven't you been treated? And I said, well, you know, that's the treatment in the UK. That's what they say. And he put me on a course of pills. And here I am 2 years later, no surgery needed. So I can't speak highly enough of the healthcare here in Russia. You know, like I say, I can see a doctor anytime. And most doctors actually, I can't say most, but certainly the ones that I've seen, actually have a Bluetooth earpiece in, and they'll take calls whilst they're in surgery from patients. How about that? Can you ring your doctor and speak to him today? No, you ring the surgery, the receptionist will make an appointment for you in 3 weeks' time, if you're lucky. Or maybe the doctor will call you back by the end of the week. But no, here, you can call the doctor and speak to him. I know, it's a radical theory, isn't it? Imagine. Now, getting back to the gas pipes, as you can see, look there. Are they a bit ugly? Yeah, I suppose. If you look at it like that, I stopped looking at them like that now. It's just part of the village. I don't take any notice of it. But yes, when I first came here, I thought they were ugly. But then when you get a gas bill of about 90 pence, you kind of don't mind the gas pipe being above ground like that, being a bit ugly, if you like. Yeah, 90 pence. That's not a day, that's a month. Interesting property. Oh, that one's for sale, brand new. We've got another dog wanting to be run over. Come on, doggy. Come on, get out of the way. That's it. But yeah, thanks for subscribing to the channel. Appreciate that. Have a look at the videos on there. There are many. But this is probably the first one with snow. Because like I say, it's not very common for us. Right? It was another snowplow. What a surprise. Snowplow on gritty. This is backwards Russia, remember? Remember what you're told in the media? Snow, bears, gangsters, vodka, horse and cart. No technology. And I know a snowplow isn't technology, but the fact that there are loads of them trundling about, and this is just a rural village. Yeah. Another piece of land for sale there. That's been derelict for a long time, that one. That'll get bought up at some point when the price warrants it. The value increases around. Somebody look at that and go, yeah. But as I say, you get the good, the bad and the ugly on my channel. And that has been derelict for decades, I would suggest. But it's a big, big plot of land. And that will get a new build on it at some point. Waiting lists are so long, sometimes years waiting. Yeah, well, I was in that process. Years of waiting for diagnosis and treatments and tests after test after test after test. Well, you think you're smarter, but you're not. Okay. Would you really want your physician performing surgery? Well, clearly not. That's not what I said. I said doctors. They'll take calls whilst they're in. When we say in surgery, that just means whilst they're at work. It doesn't actually mean performing surgery. So, of course not. You know, I would have thought that was common sense, mate. That's a huge no for me. Well, it's a huge no for anybody. Nobody's going to be taking phone calls in surgery, as in operating. But in surgery in the UK is what we call the doctor's working hours. Surgery hours is what it's called. So not, if I said operating hours, somebody would say, oh, they can't operate. So, you know, terminology, I'm guessing you're American. 90p a month. Oh my God, that's cheap. Here it's over 400 per month. Yes. Yeah, it is cheap. Even Northern, Wendy, hi. In Northern Ireland, they have fuel tanks in the gardens. Sometimes people sneak in and siphon the fuel, like stealing petrol from a car. Yeah. So crime, I mean, I can't speak for all of Russia. I can only speak from my experience. Shall I say it's non-existent? I'll say this. For me, crime here, since I've been here, has been non-existent. And by that, I mean I have not seen any sign of crime of any size, of any shape, size, description. I haven't seen even so much as a road rage incident. The closest I have seen to even road rage has been an exchange of horn bibbing at each other when somebody is pushed in and somebody isn't happy about it. But literally nothing. I mean, you know, when I first came here and I said, oh, you know, are the big fences there to keep the burglars out? And they went, burglars? What do you mean burglars? You know, people breaking into your house. And they looked at me horrified. Are you crazy? Oh, look, that's a very old building with lovely old mosaic and a nice new modern fence around it. Look at that. Mosaic around the windows and a brand new fence and wall out the front. Awesome. Brand new house opposite, next to something that's been, well, it's in mid-build. It's got a new roof and windows. Again, that's really common. You'll find people will start a build, they get the shell up, they'll put windows in, they'll put a new roof on it, and it'll sit like that, sometimes for years. Love the colours. Yeah, crime, for me, I have to speak how I find, for me, is non-existent. Never felt so safe, ever, anywhere I've been. I've been extensively throughout Europe, and I can honestly say I've never felt so safe. And that's an Englishman not speaking Russian. And I've been walking around at sometimes 2 o'clock in the morning in the town, around the back streets with no street lighting. And I must admit, when I first came here, that was not something that I looked at. But to give you an idea of the culture, kids walk to school. There we go. Look at that. There's a couple there. Yeah, kids walk to school in the winter when it's dark, and here's one that will probably freak you out, kids will hitchhike. Yep. Not in this weather, but in the summer, it's very common to see kids hitchhiking, either to get to school or to get home or to get into the town or do something. And by kids, I mean, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds. Now, that isn't because Russians don't care about their children and they're completely, a total disregard for their safety. It's because this culture means that they can do that. It's safe. It's safe here for kids. I think if you, as I said, crime here is, for me, it's been non-existent. So I think if you did something to a kid out here, you would be in a world of pain that you could only imagine. That is just not. I mean, children are really, really important in Russian culture. Very much so. They should be in their culture. Let's face it. But the West, more often than not, they're treated as a bloody nuisance. But no, for Russians, the whole point of life really is revolving around children and family. So the culture is completely different, and children are, protected, and they're protected by strangers. In that, that whole mental attitude is that, why on earth would you harm a child? That's nice, like that. Like the fence, like the property, like the carport. Nice. Let's try and catch up with people can't afford to live in the UK and Ireland as it's so expensive. Government has hiked taxes. Yeah, I mean, my life in the UK would have been working until I died. There wasn't really any way out of that. Just working to pay other people's bills is effectively which is what most people do in the UK, I think. But coming here, I've been able to retire at a young age. So my wife tells me. Apparently I'm young. I feel old sometimes. But no, I've been able to retire at a young age. Buy a house and build a house that we could only dream of in the UK. We certainly never afford it in the UK, not even close. Got our own sauna, got our own swimming pool, sun terraces, massive garden, big garage, ensuite bedrooms, blah blah blah. Have a look. Like I say, the house is for sale. There's a 28-minute video house tour inside and out if you're interested. But that's something that I could only do. And don't get me wrong, it's not a mansion. It's not like a millionaire's paradise sort of thing. But it's a lovely property, and it's certainly not something that I could ever have afforded in the UK where we were living in the southeast. So yeah, for me, Russia, I've been able to retire, build a house that is a lovely home, and I'm getting lost again, which is cool. It's good to get lost. But yeah, taxis, and I don't mean the taxi that you ring to take you down the pub. I mean the government taxis. So taxis for us out here are, well, I mean, when we first came here, we had everything at once. We had tax for the car, we had land tax, we had property tax, we were selling a flat, an apartment, so we had sales tax on that, and it all came at once. We had all of these taxes come in at once. And the wife, it goes to you have like an online account, so all of your taxes and your motoring fines, anything, speeding, etc., goes to this online account. You get a notification. And the wife came to me one day and she said, "Honey, we've had the billing for all the taxes." I'm like, "Okay." And I said, "Do I need to sit down?" And she said, "Well," so I did. And yeah, she said, "Well, altogether, if I add it all together, it's 15." And I went, "Oh my God, 15 grand, Jesus." Okay, well, it is what it is, I suppose. It's land tax, it's property tax, buying and selling, etc. It is what it is. I said, "Yeah, so 15 grand." She looked at me and she went, "Are you idiot?" What? She says, "No, honey, not 15 grand, 1,500. So I was like, bloody hell, result, £1,500 for all the taxes. And she just stood there looking at me, shaking her head, going, "Oh my, no, idiot, 1,500 rubles." I said, "You what?" 1,500 rubles for all the tax. And it took me a little while to compute that, but at the time that was about £13. That didn't include the car tax. I'm lying there. It didn't include the car tax. But yeah, £13 the taxes were. Which, yeah, we pay about £1 a month, I think, roughly it works out at, to have rubbish taken away. There is no such thing as council tax, so there's none of this BS where they rape you depending on what kind of property you have, how much council tax you should pay. That doesn't exist here. So yeah, your land tax, I can't remember if it's a one-off payment or if you pay it every year, but it's so ridiculously small, it's not even worth talking about. It's pennies. So yeah, I mean, just in council tax alone in the southeast, in the property that we had, was about 2.5 grand a year. I think that's perfectly normal. So that's 2.5 grand a year that we don't spend, because we don't have that out here. And then factor in the price of food and things like gas and electric. So gas, what's your gas bill now? £200, £300, £400 a month. Ours is less than £1. Electric's a lot dearer. Electricity. I think last month our electricity bill was about £30, something like that. But again, compared to the UK, well, there is no comparison, is there? There is nothing to compare. I reckon that's going to be a shop or something, some description. Wendy, doctors in the UK are really bad here for getting any appointments in months. Yeah, I mean, all I can say is come to Russia. I had laser eye surgery when I was in the UK. It was about just over £7,000, because it was quite, it was one of the dearest options. And as I was advised in the UK that there's a 5% chance that it will go wrong effectively, and I'll need to go back and have some more surgery. That happened whilst I was out here. I got very blurry vision in one eye, and it got progressively worse until I thought, well, I've got to go. So, I was thinking, well, I'm going to have to go back to the UK, but of course not. This is Russia. It's not a third world country. So we went for laser eye surgery in Novorossiysk, next town along from us. And they checked both eyes, and I had 95%, I think, or 90%, I think it was, lost clarity in one eye, and the other eye was 10% lost. So yeah, pretty bad. So we elected to do both eyes as I was there, might as well. And it was £100 for for laser eye surgery on both eyes, and now I have 20/20 vision. I still use glasses for reading, but that's not a necessity. It's just because I'm stupid. So my focal point is not quite arm's length, but I like to hold the phone a lot closer, and then it's slightly out of focus. So I put a pair of reading glasses on. Whereas if I just extended my arm, I wouldn't need to use reading glasses. But of course, that's too clever, isn't it? It's too simple. So I don't do that. But other than that, I have 20/20 vision. I don't use glasses at all. £100. Yeah. So yeah, if health is an issue, come to Russia. Be a health tourist, and yes, you can get healthcare as a foreigner. If you apply for temporary residency and you're accepted on that, and you get the stamp, it's then free, completely free. But at the moment, I pay for mine, and I have no problem paying for it at all, because it's literally so cheap. I mean, have a blood test here, it's about £6, and I get the results the same day. And those results are in a full printout, and they're emailed to me, and I can get a hard copy as well. Things like scans, any kind of scans, which I've had multiple scans, x-rays, all of that kind of stuff, you can get it done the same day or the next day at the worst case. It's just a different world. We're brainwashed in the UK to believe that the NHS is the best healthcare service in the world. We're constantly told that. I don't know if you remember, everybody out the front banging their pot, saying how we should be so grateful for the NHS and all that. Well, I'm sorry, but Russia makes the NHS look like Stone Age times. It really does. The healthcare out here absolutely destroys the NHS. There's no comparison. It's not even close. Latest equipment. I went and had moles removed when I first came to Russia. I came here on holiday with the wife, and she went to the doctors, to the oncologist, for the same thing, for skin moles. And I've had moles all my life, around my neck and under my arm and a couple of other places. And every time I've spoken to the doctors, it's, oh, we'll have to book you in, and, it's day surgery, and it's all this and it's all that. I think it's got simpler now. But anyhow, we went there, and she spoke to the doctor about mine, and he had a look, and he said, oh, yeah, no problem. Do you want me to remove them? And I was like, he said, oh, I can do that now for you. So I'm thinking, right, really unsure. I was new in the country, and I'd never been to Russia before, didn't know anything about it. But it just made me feel very comfortable. Very, the place was immaculate. Marble floors, bloody chandelier hanging in the reception. Latest equipment, laser equipment, and everything. And he said, yeah, I'll just remove them with a laser. So I sort of went, not thinking how much it's going to cost or anything, but just sort of thought, well, I just feel comfortable doing this. I don't know why, he just put me at ease. So after treating the wife, he removed all of the moles that I've had all my life. Several, probably about 20 odd around my neck, and like I say, underarm and on my arm, on my back. Just removed them with a laser, painless. And I was thinking, oh, this is going to be a few quid, and he didn't charge me. He just said, no, you're, welcome to Russia. No charge. Didn't charge me. You get that on the NHS? And that was a walk in. I walked in with the wife. He'd never seen me before. Now, I'm not saying that's common, but that gives you an idea of the quality of healthcare here. It's absolutely exceptional compared to the UK. No comparison. Wendy looks really quiet and peaceful. It is. It's lovely. We love it. Sorry, I want to catch up with this chat. Maybe someone could squat in one of those empty houses. Great scene. Yeah, well, there's none of that. That doesn't happen. The law's different here. It doesn't favour people breaking into your home and setting up residence. That's not a thing, because the police turn up the same day and throw them out. It's just, well, they just wouldn't do it. It's a different culture. As far, the respect here is completely different. So people just wouldn't do it. It just doesn't happen. But if you're a landlord and you're renting your property out, you'll have an agreement with your tenant, but ultimately it's your property. So there's none of this having to evict your tenant and take them to court and 6 months and blah blah blah. No, you just tell them, I want you to leave, and they leave. But renting isn't really a big thing here. Most people own their own home. Guess not so many immigrants. I think there's a lot of immigration into Russia, but it's far more controlled now, and they're dealing with the immigration by just sort of recapping on people that have come into the country. You come in with a visa, and if you're here illegally, you will get ejected from the country. And now the policy to immigrate into Russia is tough and it's stringent. And as with all countries, how it should be, the immigration policy is adhered to. So you have to meet the requirements. Not a case of just wandering across the border and, now you're here. People are scared to let their children run free. Yeah, of course. Yeah, not here. That's, I just cannot emphasize enough how culturally different it is. This is what the UK used to be like in the 60s, possibly. Crime is just, I've got to say, for me, non-existent. I'm sure there is crime. Of course, I'm not naive, but for me, like I say, I haven't even seen a road rage incident, let alone crime. I haven't seen any punch-ups or fights or, massive shouting matches or, road rage, or I haven't heard of people's houses being burgled or cars being broken into. Nothing. I mean, I've left my car open so many times when I've gone into town, I just forget about it now. If you go to a restaurant, you can leave your mobile phone on the table and your wallet, go to the toilet, and when you come back, it'll still be there. You can leave your phone, and I have done. I've left my phone on the dashboard in its holder where it is now because I forgot. And I've gone into the town, and we've gone for dinner or lunch. And halfway through lunch, I've realised I haven't got my phone. And I'm like, oh no. And I get back to the car and it's sitting there. Well, in the UK, your window would be smashed and your phone would be gone. 100%. Motorbikes. London is terrible for bikes and scooters and stuff like that. They're just stolen, aren't they? Whereas here, people will ride an electric scooter. They'll ride it to the shop. They'll park it outside the shop. They go in and do their shopping. And they'll come out and the scooter will still be there. The keys will be in it. And the scooter will still be there. And I mean one of these little battery scooters, that you could just pick up and throw in the boot of the car. But people just don't do that because they have respect. It's just a different world. It really is. I lived in Northern Ireland for 8 years. Been back in Yorkshire for 12. It's expensive on foods. Yeah, I mean, food here, GMO is banned for a start, so there's no genetically modified anything. And if you're in a village location like we are, food is grown all around us. So there's a farmer's market every day somewhere, so we can get fresh food, fresh fruit and veg, fresh bread, everything every day, fresh milk. And you can have all different types of milk, fat content, and you can have it straight out of the cow if you want. And no, I'm not joking. You live on the border. Do you live in Warren Point or Newry or Armagh? Sorry, I guess you're talking amongst yourselves there. Got to go now, Chris. I'll have a look at your videos later. Thanks for the chat. Goodbye, Wendy. Sorry I missed that, Wendy. I'm always behind with the chat. I'm astonished how chill people are with this wrong country. Yeah, I guess you need to educate yourself, mate. It's the government, not the people's fault. There's nothing wrong with this government. It works for Russia. Russian government is for Russians. Funny that. That's how it should be, isn't it? Andre, hi. No, it looks stereotypical Russia with snow. I mean, yes, it does indeed. Wendy, yes, Chris, they say that. It could go wrong. I'm glad you're sorted now. I've had 4 surgeries, 2 to remove cataracts, and 20 months later, laser on both eyes. One eye was damaged in surgery. Yeah, well, there you go, Wendy. So, like I say, I had that £7,000. I went privately in the UK, paid £7,000 to have it, and then £100 out here. Yeah, that's the difference. Wendy, Chris, do you see any disabled people there? Yes. So we live, like I say, just outside of Napa, and that is considered not only a seaside resort town, but also a place where people go for rest, recuperation. We have things here called sanatoriums. I always get it confused between sanatorium and sanitarium, but sanatorium. So it's where people will go to convalesce after treatments, and there are lots of places like that, spas we would probably call them in the UK, with all sorts of different treatment options. So certainly in Napa, yes, people will come to Napa for the healing properties of the sea, especially in algae season. Very popular for people to go and just sit in the sea, in the algae. But then in the middle of the summer, it's 30 odd degrees in the sea. It's like getting in a warm bath. When do you buy organic where you can? Yeah. Well, it's difficult to not buy it here because it's just everywhere. We're surrounded with it. So this is the through road, if you like, for our little village. So there's not a lot to see because it's a village. It's not overrun with a lot of commercial stuff, but we've got all the necessaries. Got a few bakeries. We've got a few doctor surgeries. Lots of pharmacies. Lots of little mini supermarkets. Magnets, very popular. There's 2 or 3 in our village. We've got butchers, Petrushka, again another popular chain in Russia, supermarket. And then we have what they call a farmer's market. So it's like an indoor, kind of local produce kind of place. We have the obligatory Ozon and Wildberries, which is like a cross between Amazon and eBay. I must do a bloody Ozon video. I keep forgetting. I must do that and explain that because it's a brilliant thing, and everywhere should have an Ozon and a Wildberries. It's awesome. And we've got a gym here. In a multicoloured place. A couple of coffee shops. I'm just going to head out the town now. So there we go. There's our village in the snow. Cars, anyone? Hope you enjoyed the quick, brief live. Please join my Telegram channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel. Check out some of the other videos. Watch out for the lives. I try and do them as often as I can, different times of the day. But if you've got any questions about life here in Russia, especially if you're English, if you'd like to move to Russia, or even just some general questions about, what you may have read in mainstream media and you just want to know how true it is or isn't, which is more likely, just drop a note on my Telegram channel or send me an email and I'll see if I can help. Napa sounds great. It's a Napa, so just 1P and lose the N on the front, and swap the N and the A around, so it's ANAPA. So have a look at that on Google Maps. You'll see where we are. No, it's different. We drive on the right here in Anapa, so left-hand drive vehicle, or in Russia, left-hand drive vehicles driving on the right-hand side of the road. You do see a lot of right-hand drive vehicles because they're Japanese, so there's a lot of Japanese import stuff. So right-hand drive vehicles are quite common. If you've never driven on the left, sorry, on the right in a left-hand drive vehicle is what I was trying to say. The advice I would give is just take your time with it. That's the best advice I could give. It's round here. Let's get round here. You know, if you don't rush, if you're not trying to get anywhere at a million miles an hour, just take your time. It's okay. You only get a bit flustered if you're rushing and trying to make decisions quickly because you're working against your natural instincts. But the benefit of here is there's a lot less traffic because it's obviously the largest country in the world. So 66 times the size of the UK, but 3 times the size in population. So there's a lot less traffic and the roads are a lot wider. So it's much easier, I find. Obviously, you get to the big cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg, very busy, and the bigger towns as well. Okay. So it's the edge of a development. Can be starting to build there. Magnet is good. I have one near my village. Yeah, Magnet is good. There's all sorts of supermarkets. We have Tabris as well down this way, and there's lots in Moscow that are different that we don't have. Is Belarus anywhere near you? Not really, no. Couldn't tell you exactly. To be honest, you'd get the answer quicker than me because I'm live streaming, Wendy. So, like I say, if you go to Google Maps and just type in ANAPA, we're on the coast of the Black Sea, about 60 miles from Crimea, 300 kilometers up the coast from Sochi, and we look across to Turkey. Irvin, thank you. Smash that like button. Yeah, thank you, guys. That's much appreciated. It's still snowing. I do like a bit of snow, and I especially like this truck. This thing is epic, absolutely epic. Love it. So yes, there we go. A little tour of our village in the snow. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and like I say, if you've got any questions, drop me a message on Telegram. The channel is The Plastic Russian. There's actually 2 parts to that. There's the main channel and then there's the chat, the Plastic Russian chat. But if you drop a message on either, I'll see it because I check it every day, multiple times. So if you want to have a call, if you've got 1,000 questions and you want to have a bit more of a chat rather than going backwards and forwards by text, happy to do that. Do that on Telegram or on WhatsApp. So yeah, thanks for joining me. I'm gonna head off home now. Well, take it out manual mode, Chris. That'd be better. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna head off home now. So I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.